Yes, hello, Jan Live. We are going out here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a busy, busy last couple of days, and we've redone a complete backend for our event mastery classes. We have redesigned pages. It's been a real hoot, if you know what I mean. But hey, this is Jan Ragnerud, founder of chaosmap.com, and I wanted to share with you something a little bit different today. But before I do, this is a pitch, by the way. It's a free workshop. So you're welcome to take a look see here. If you go to bit.ly / event mastery class, you'll get access to it. Now, what I should say here is we have actually a number of great groups here, and we're getting awesome feedback from not only our group, but from other people who are coming across the podcast. It's actually really moving right along at a nice clip. And by the way, there's some really good folks who have not only subscribed, but given some great reviews, which is awesome. But what I mean to say is, I really appreciate all that you do, and not just listening to me yabber about media and marketing here, and talking about business and growth, etc., but also just really contributing to the community. I forget where I heard this, but the expression is, when you win, everybody wins, right? It's sort of a mutual thing. And today I wanted to talk about this customer appreciation, what it really means. As I mentioned, the feedback that I get, that we get, the groups that we have, and all the followers out on the various Facebook groups, but also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and the B2B network. It's nice, right? It gives you a good feeling of a sense of community. However, here's the thing. Customer appreciation is something that I think we don't talk enough about. I see a lot about, me, mails, etc., right? But how about the clients? How about the customers? How about the patients, the folks that serve you? And so I thought this was really appropriate here today because, again, as I said, we've been offline here for a few days. Actually didn't broadcast yesterday, which is kind of amazing, even though it was Memorial Day. I like to come live each day, but we've been so busy here and launching this, and the feedback and the level of engagement that we receive from our courses, our trainings, and our done-for-you services is most appreciated. But here I'm going to dig into this now. I've been yabbering about the customer appreciation. Here's what it really means, right? And if you're coming in live here, you'll see a big old banner here. It says customer appreciation. But before we get into what it really means, I'm going to take you back here a little bit. And these are some slides from our fine folks over at SuperOffice. Not all current, but you know what? This deals with human emotions and the human psyche. And while some of the data points will change based on, current data, 2019 versus a few years ago, we can draw some parallels here. We can see that these metrics are not going to change over time that much. In fact, let's talk about it here. Customer retention, right? Why companies lose customers? Well, I don't think we need to be a rocket science to figure that out, right? So here on this slide, the customer dies 1%, right? Customer moves away 3%. Customer influenced by friends 5%, right? Somebody says, hey, company A is great, but you know who's better? Company B. That kind of thing, right? Customer lured away by competition. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. It's a competitive marketplace, clearly. Some more aggressive than others, but, you're going to have customers lured away. Customer dissatisfied with product, 14%. If that's 10% now or 30% now, you get the drift, right? It's the trend lines here that we're looking at. Customer turned away by an attitude of indifference on part of the service provider, 68%, guys and girls. Big clue here. The indifference, we're dealing with customer service here, but it's also, what? I've done my job 9 to 5. I've serviced my tickets here. I'm done. I'm out, right? So very compelling, that first slide there. Now, next one here is we're kind of getting a little warmer here to my main point that I'm driving home here today. And this gets into what determines happiness, right? And we're not necessarily here talking about, hey, are you happy this morning? Did you wake up happy? We're talking about engaging with customers, clients, patients, etc., right? So we're talking about customer appreciation. And here we can see genetics, 50%, external circumstances, 10%, actions and thoughts, 40%. This is from University of California, Riverside by Sonia Lubomirsky, PhD. So it must be right. Well, again, we're seeing, patterns here. What determines happiness? Actions and thoughts. And the reason why I'm saying this is getting warmer to my main point is you'll hear about it in a few more minutes if you just hang on here, because I think this is pretty profound. At least this is how it relates to me as we kind of close out the broadcast here in a few minutes. But if you'd like to learn more about how we do some of these things in terms of giving value and providing insights, we have a workshop right now. It's bit.ly/event mastery class, free class. You can head over there and take a look-see, and you'll kind of understand a little bit more about what this means, customer appreciation. And by the way, customer appreciation starts with your first touch point, but it doesn't end there. It's a complete 360 cycle. Now, one of the things that I thought was very interesting is what are things that service providers could do to prevent switching? Again, stats from a few years ago here, but let's talk about it. So the high items here are in blue on this chart. If you're listening on the broadcast, then I'll read it out to you. But resolving my issue in the first contact, addressing the concern, right? 68%. Contacted me proactively to let me know about ways to enhance my experience with them, 55%. Recognized and rewarded me for doing more business with them, 51%. Clearly a lot of opportunity here to do a lot better in terms of business, but engaging with your customers and appreciating them. 45% is offered me better service and support option via my mobile device. 44 is offered me preferential treatment such as platinum, gold service levels. And so these are kind of the major buckets for what service providers could do to prevent switching. And these are among global respondents who agreed that the service provider could have done more or done something differently in order to have kept them, right? So it's kind of interesting to see this. And these charts are all over the internet. And so I'm just using this chart from my fine friends at SuperOffice. This is true in any industry, not the exact numbers, but this kind of thinking, right? Hey, if I'm reaching out to you and I have an issue, did you resolve it on the first contact? Yes or no? Can we do a better job there? Yes or no? Is there a better process or a system we can put in place for handling that better? Yes or no, right? Well, of course there is. And here's where it gets interesting. There needs to be focus on this from management and from the top. And yes, there is, but how much and how often? Is it addressed, on a weekly basis, monthly basis, or we do quarterly reviews, annual reviews, half-year reviews. What is it? What does it look like? What more could be done here? And really also some of these things that can be done with technology now that doesn't impact, a huge expense to make this happen. So I urge you to take a look at that. So let's continue here. Something that is very simple to do in this regard is thankful emails. Hey, I'm thankful for you. I appreciate you type of emails. And they are open and click more. Just thanks is like getting a 35% open rate. And that is a 14.4% increase from, no thanks, meaning there is no thanks, right? Click-through rate, same thing. The thanks type of emails and contextual messaging gets 1.95% higher than when there's no thanks embedded, right? So just taking a moment to say thanks and be thankful for their customers matters. And you don't have to be cheesy here. This doesn't have to be a sort of a overly sort of in your face situation. But if you are interacting with any business online and they have a service where they're actually helping you through a support system, then you would want to see these patterns and that they actually care. And I've had some recent interactions online that would really have shown me that they care. it really means a lot. You just sit back with a good feeling, and you want to refer business. You want to, give them a 10-star for the chat interaction or the ticket interaction, et cetera, et cetera. So, by the way, one of the things that I talk a lot about here is the ability to give back, and we want to give back. And we do that in the forms of workshops and trainings. And if you go to bit.ly/event mastery class, you learn about how to run workshops, seminars, conferences, concerts, etc. And in fact, we show you systems and processes in there that you can use for a multitude set of businesses in terms of those processes. Yes, some of the details and tactics will change, but whether it's for an event, a workshop, conference, or if it's something that you're doing in terms of professional services area, take a look. In fact, you'll get some great ideas on how some of these things can work in your marketplace if you want to expand into those areas. So let's dig in here a little further. Another chart here from 2014, again, a few years ago, most effective tactics for improving customer lifetime value. The big red line here, the big border here, is personalized interactions. And we're talking about email and on-site. So again, the human connection here, as well as, the person that sits behind the desk who sends out emails, that is not automated. Now, automation cannot get past that. That's going to have to be part of a daily, ritual, as it were. But in truth, having that extra edge in terms of personalization and actually getting a sense that there's a real person behind there, well, that's going to be critical. Personalized interactions overall. This is never going to go away. That's why, for instance, videos can be a great way for you to interact. If you are sending out emails, set up a picture of the customer rep. Maybe there's a personalized video from the VP of the department or even the CEO that speaks about a particular thing that happened, right? We talk a lot about reputation management. We do that also at the firm, at the agency. And clearly having the sponsorship and the sign off and also the involvement of the executives from the top is going to be critical in those types of situations as well. But you can use this throughout to think about how I can enhance that user experience and that engagement and that connection that customers want. And I'm not going to read through all of these here, but there are some other ones. More effective use of data, customer segmentation, personas, of course, focus on online experience, websites, loyalty programs, etc. Improved pricing for repeat purchases. Many items here that will allow you to improve overall. But at the top here is the improvement of customer services in general. So here we go. Now we're coming up to my main point for today. And this is customer appreciation, what it really means. So I've talked a lot about what companies and individuals can do through systems and processes and to reach out and create that personal connection, create that bond. But while that's all good and in fact needs to be in place, the one thing that we forget in all of this is you, the person, you, the individual, you, the driver behind all the engines, whether that is, picking up the phone and answering customer questions to the solopreneur sweating in a back office somewhere at his house or her house, or, a small team somewhere in a loft in downtown LA or in New York or somewhere in the Midwest or Hong Kong, Norway, Brazil, Australia. It's global, right? So this applies to all of you. It applies to me. And the answer is, and if you're seeing the screen, you know it already, it's gratitude. Gratitude, folks. How simple is that? The quality of being thankful. That is one of the descriptions here. Wikipedia says it all, right? Number 2, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. So, this is huge. In fact, if you picked any week of the month and went for 7 days and showed continuous gratitude towards your customers, clients, patients, and that includes your family, your friends, and you took full responsibility for everything, even though that's going to be hard to do for some of you and extremely hard for others, pushing through a 7-day challenge like that, with this gratitude, word imprinted on your forehead, and thinking about what that means for you, no matter where you're at, personally or in business. This is really the main point of the podcast here today. And this is where I really want to, again, thank you and reach out to you, customers and clients of mine, and also through the agency. Really appreciate all that you do and the years that we work together. It really means a lot. And so I'm very grateful and appreciative, and couldn't have done it without you. That's how it goes here. So anyway, this is Jan here, coming to a close for today's broadcast. A little bit different than normal, but customer appreciation. It does mean that you improve systems and processes, as we've gone through, looking at some of those data points, but really start with the basic thing here, which is gratitude. Now, one of the things that I mentioned throughout this broadcast is we like to give back as well. And we do have a free workshop at bit.ly/event mastery class. And that's where we show you how you can run your events, get tickets sold to events, fill those seats, butts in seats, as it were, for conferences, workshops, seminars, concerts. It's a great way to connect people and bind people and network and show appreciation for the people that you work for and work with and the companies across the globe. And we do a lot with events, but I really like events because it's such a people-oriented business, right? Once you're at the show, whatever it is for you, and you're sitting in the seat or you're in the backstage, or you're actually one of the folks going on stage, it's the ultimate. And so talk about gratitude. Again, very, very thankful for all that you do. And again, thank you for visiting here today. And thank you for joining the workshop. And we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys and gals. Later.